Today on Batesball Talk, we're going to talk a little Dodgers, the Mookie Betts trade, what the heck is going on, a little Dallas Cowboys. Michael Irvin says Tom Brady might be coming to Dallas. Yeah, right. And last but not least, could the Houston Astros make me any more angry? Apparently the answer is yes. Next on Batesball Talk. Okay, so this Mookie trade, the Dodgers made a blockbuster trade, or did they? So I don't even know how to feel about this. The Dodgers are supposed to be getting Mookie Betts, certainly the 10 best players in baseball, arguably the second best offensive player in baseball. The Dodgers are supposed to receive Mookie, David Price, a very good left-handed starting pitcher, and cash from Boston. The Red Sox were supposed to receive Alex Verdugo and a Twins prospect, Brusdar Referral, and then the Twins were going to get Kenta Maeda from the Dodgers. This kind of makes me crazy. This entire trade is being held up. And then another trade, Ross Stripling and Jock Peterson are supposed to go to the Angels for a middle infielder. And all of this is getting held up because, air quotes, the Red Sox want to look closer at Gratterall's arm. He had Tommy John surgery. Any pitcher, and I heard this on MLB Network, this isn't my original idea, any pitcher, any major league pitcher who gets an MRI, they're going to find it, you know what? The elbow's not perfect. Are you kidding me? Any trade could be held up for this kind of thing. I am not a conspiracy theorist, but it sounds to me like the Red Sox are getting cold feet because the Bo Sox fandom flipped the heck out. You're trading Mookie because Mookie said no to your $300 million contract. As the story goes, the Red Sox offered Mookie $300 million to forego his free agent future. At the end of this year, he'll be a free agent. Apparently, the story goes, Mookie says, how about $400 million? They say, thank you, no. I'm not mad on either side. It makes sense. Would you keep Mookie, try to make the playoffs this year, and likely lose him for just a draft pick? No, you wouldn't. You trade him when you can. You dump the David Price contract that nobody would take. You pay for half of it. And in return, you get two great prospects back. And by great prospects, Verdugo's not even a prospect. Dude was raking last year. He had a great 2019, and then he got hurt. And then you pick up a top prospect who pitched fairly well in the major leagues already. And the fans flip their you-know-what. And then what? You ask for an MRI on a pitcher's elbow who you already know has had surgery? What do you think you're going to find? It's not perfect. Oh, what a shock. And so these guys, Ross Stripling, Jock Peterson, Mookie Betts, David Price, Alex Verdugo, this Gratterall kid, Kenta Maeda, all are supposed to go to spring training next week. Just make the deal. If you don't want Gratterall, I guarantee there was a list of other guys or packages of guys that have the same value, according to the Red Sox, that the Dodgers or the Twins or some package had agreed to. They worked too long and too hard on this. What? It's almost $1 billion in value trade. Obviously, certainly more than $500 million. Certainly, they have option B and C and D. And I actually think it's disrespectful, not only to these players, especially these players, but even us fans, but certainly the players. I mean, if you're Ross Stripling, you don't even know what team you're going to be on in a week. You got to go to a team in a week you don't even know. And it's Kenta Maeda and Mookie Betts and Alex Verdugo and all of these people. And I really think it's because the Red Sox are getting blasted in their local and even the national media. That's what I think. It's making me crazy. I can't wait to get some resolution here. You know, as a Dodgers fan, we're having a rough couple weeks here. I mean, my goodness, the news of 2017 World Series cheating the Astros, this trade, which I know if you're not a Dodger fan, you're probably saying, cry me a river. The Dodgers are in position to do a very, very well this year with or without this trade. And I've heard a lot of people who are mad because of what a great trade the Dodgers pulled off. You know, it is what it is. They're in the position. Verdugo is a stud. Maeda is pretty darn good. They didn't give up nothing here. But secondarily, it seems to me like we make trades, they go public, and it gets pulled more often than not. I remember a couple winter seasons ago, we had trade in place for Aroldis Chapman, one of the best relievers in baseball. And I remember thinking, man, and people were talking about it. You could have Kenley Jansen then in his prime, and Chapman, that's the bullpen of all time. And then what happens? Idiot does some stuff in his garage with a gun, and all of a sudden they're worried about him being suspended. The trade goes away. He goes to the Cubs. And I mean, I think they brought a World Series title home. So, what? It's just weird being a Dodger fan right now. I love Jock Peterson. I don't want to see him go, but boy, I mostly feel bad for Jock Peterson. He doesn't even know what team he's going to right now. I really like Ross Stripling. Didn't really want him to go. It's just weird. We've got to figure out if this trade's a done deal. And by we, I mean, can you imagine what the players and the teams and everything are feeling, let alone us fans or, hey, baseball podcasters? I think it's going to happen. I think they'll probably end up sending the pitcher back to the Twins and then maybe either taking the Twins out of it entirely or somebody else provides the prospect to the Red Sox. But, man, I hope they figure this out quick. I can't wait to hear what they're doing. All right. Let me just start off right at the top of this segment with Tom Brady's not going to be the Cowboys quarterback. They have Dak Prescott and they're going to stick with it. But we've got this story from Sports Illustrated. The headline states, Cowboys trading Dak Prescott and signing Patriots quarterback Tom Brady being discussed by significant people, says Michael Irvin. Okay, listen. I love Michael Irvin. He was a great receiver. He is hilarious to listen to on TV and on the radio. He's got insane opinions, but dude has done his fair share of, stuff that messes with your brain. Let's just get to it. By Mike Fisher, who I really like and I listen to on our local radio all the time. Former Dallas star and NFL Network voice, Michael Irvin says, quote, significant people, unquote, are discussing the idea of the Dallas Cowboys trading Dak Prescott and signing New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady. Let me just start off with who's significant people. I'm significant people to my daughter. You're significant people to me because you're listening to my podcast. Thank you so much. This is so dumb. Michael Irvin talks to somebody at some party about this insane asylum of an idea, just like I would at the barbershop, at my buddy's garage. This is so dumb. As near as I can tell, again, this is Mike Fisher, who I very much respect. My guy Colin Cowherd started this, but now my guy Michael Irvin is talking about it too. And the gravitas of the idea of the Dallas Cowboys movement, involving quarterback Dak Prescott and Tom Brady is increasing. No, it's not. Here's what Irvin said. I'm telling you right now, at the Super Bowl in Miami, some very significant people that I had conversations with leaning in that same direction. It was shocking. I had a vodka cranberry in my hand, and when they said it to me, I put the drink down and said, let's talk a little bit more about this. Dude, step away from your vodka cranberry. This is crazy. So he has a conversation with somebody, probably Colin Cowherd. Who knows? Who cares? About here's this idea. The Cowboys signed Dak to the offer sheet or whatever. They franchise tag him would be what they would do. And then they trade him for some draft pick where they draft their future quarterback. And then they sign Brady, for $30 million a year for 2 years. They draft their new quarterback and they move on. This is fantasy football for drunk dudes at Super Bowl parties. This is the dumbest idea ever. First of all, Tom Brady wasn't that good last year. I think he's going to go to the Patriots and ensure that the Bills win the AFC East. That's what I think is going to happen, but that's a whole nother conversation. Who would you rather have, Dak or Brady? If they were the same price, you'd want Dak for the next 2 years, not even including he won't be 45 at the end of those 2 years. If he costs you $8 million more a year, you're going to go with Dak. Oh, and by the way, you get him beyond those 2 years. Brady's almost my age. This is the dumbest conversation ever. This is what happens and I love Michael Irvin, when you take him seriously. He is funny. He is kind of a comedian. I know he doesn't think so. Look do I take him seriously as a football brain? I do. But when dude fully admits that this is just him and a significant person over drinks at a party talking, how is this a story? Well, I guess I'm making it a story, at least in my little world. Tom Brady to the Cowboys makes for good headlines and clickbait. It's not going to happen. Tom Brady will be a Patriot or nothing, a beachgoer, I'm married to a Victoria's Secret model. I get to do whatever I want to kind of guy. I mean, I think he's going to play next year. I think he's going to play for the Patriots. And here's why I think that. Who's their backup quarterback? I think it's obvious they're going to sign him. They'll sign him for a year or two, probably 2, and then move the heck on. Later, this is dumb. Dak will be in Dallas. Brady will be in New England. And Colin Cowherd will continue to freak out Michael Irvin. Why am I talking about this? Tom Brady will not be a Cowboy. All right. So the Houston Astros cheated. They cheated in 2017. They cheated in 2017's postseason. And yes, that's when they beat my Dodgers in Game 7 in the World Series in a very closely contested World Series. It has not ended there. The GM suspended for a year, fired. The manager suspended for a year, fired. The players all given immunity for their testimony. None of this comes out unless Mike fires. Now the A's comes out and says, hey, yeah, they've been cheating. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The report comes out. They're trying to get it done before the season's done. Everybody's mad at AJ Hinch. Everybody's mad at the GM, Luhnow. And are we just going to move on our merry way? No, we're not. More and more news is coming out. This goes deep. It was absolutely part of what the Astros front office was doing, and we have proof. On CBS News, according to a bombshell report by the Wall Street Journal's Jared Diamond, Manfred, that's Major League Baseball Commissioner Manfred, sent Luhnow, that's the Astros former general manager, a letter 11 days before the discipline was announced, saying there is more than sufficient evidence to support a conclusion that you knew, again, to the general manager, and overwhelming evidence that you should have known that the Astros maintained a sign stealing program that violated MLB's rules. Diamond, again from the Wall Street Journal, reports an intern showed the general manager an algorithm used to decode signs in September of 2016. Why are we not talking about this? The spreadsheet, which actually had a nickname, Code Maker, was fairly rudimentary. Someone would manually input the sign sequence and the pitch, and the algorithm would decipher the pattern. But illegal nonetheless. The system was also referred to internally as the team's dark arts. What have we learned? What have we learned? The office, the management, the front office of the Astros had an intern who, whether on his own or not, maybe he just thought he was playing Jonah Hill's character in Moneyball, but he did something that got to the general manager's office that people in the office were aware of, so much that they had a joke name for it, the dark arts, and an actual name for it, Code Maker. The Astros used Codebreaker to decode. Again, I'm reading from the article on CBS News now, CBS Sports, whatever. The Astros used Codebreaker to decode signs during home and road games. And according to Diamond, again, that's the Wall Street Journal reporter, the information was passed on to the dugouts. Now it's not just some creepy intern guy. Now it's in the field, on the field, in the dugout. As Manfred detailed, again, Manfred is the Major League Baseball commissioner, detailed in his report, the information was initially used by runners at second base. Eventually, the Astros started banging on garbage cans to cut out the middleman and relay signs even with the bases empty. The commissioner's report says Luhnow, again the general manager former of the Astros, received at least 2 emails about the sign stealing scheme. The Wall Street Journal reporter adds that the general manager told Major League Baseball's investigators that he did not read them in their entirety. What? Astros employees told investigators there was no attempt to hide Codebreaker from the general manager. The commissioner's letter says the general manager was aware of Codebreaker, the team's sign stealing algorithm. But his final report says there was no evidence the general manager knew about the banging scheme. Huh? The general manager knew they were stealing signs, but not how they relayed them. As the article says, that is semantics. This is bigger than AJ Hinch and a general manager that nobody in baseball really liked. Here's the thing. Everybody in baseball likes AJ Hinch. Nobody in baseball likes general manager Luhnow. General manager Luhnow will be a footnote to history. He'll never get another job. AJ Hinch will be in a uniform, not this spring training, but next. I don't know what team, but it'll be somewhere, somehow. And the problem is still in Houston. It is in that office. This intern is now a paid employee. The general manager is gone. Is the culture. I like the hire of Dusty Baker. He's a short-term fix. He's a PR move and a good manager. I've always thought he's a good manager. I like the hiring. The problem's not gone. Are they going to cheat this year in the general manager's office? Nope. Are the executives still in place? Yep. That's where this ends. The Houston Astros need to clean house. The manager needs to get a whole new front office. A whole new front office. All of them. Or the culture is still going to be there. Cheaters cheat. 2017 does not have a World Series champion. The rings have been passed out. Are you going to go and tour the Houston Astros facilities and look at that World Series trophy and think anything other than 1919 Black Sox, 2017 Houston Astros? Nobody won that title. Vacate it. So they already did. Doesn't matter. The rings don't matter. The trophy doesn't matter. And the Astros don't matter. Every time a hitter on the Astros from 2017 goes into a slump in 2020, the play-by-play guy and everybody in the stands are all going to be saying, I'm certainly thinking the same thing. I wonder if he would have been in the slump if he knew what pitches were coming. This makes me more mad than the steroid scandals of a few years ago. The Astros. This is bad. This is bad. And it's not over yet. There's going to be more to come. It's my thoughts on the Astros scandal. There's more news to come. I guarantee it. It'll come out all throughout the year. So there you go. A little Batesball talk. Astros scandal. Brady not being a Cowboy. Just silly, right? And then my Dodgers Mookie Betts. Is that trade over yet? Hopefully by the time you hear this podcast, he's in Dodger blue. I appreciate you listening. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube. Dole Whip Dad's the channel. Sunday nights I've got DizTube where I interview a Disney creator. I also have Creator Talk where we talk about, well, all things creation, including for YouTubers and for podcasters, all that kind of stuff. Saturday morning we kick off with Beauty and the Beast. Me and my wife talking about just stuff, mostly Disney. It's a lot of fun. And then Friday night, if you collect Disney pins, we got a show on YouTube for you, Disney Pins Live. I think that's enough talking for the day. Thanks so much for being here. As always, listen harder. Have a great day. Bye for now.